Good day. In today's video, we will be discussing the Proclamation of Independence of the Philippines. Objective: familiarize oneself with the primary documents in different historical periods of the Philippines. Now, I'd like you to focus your attention on the picture on your screen and to the music attached to it.
Na ikaw ay dumating at may iba sa damdamin. Kilos mo, mga paglalambing ang siyang lagi ay umaakit sa akin. Kahit dayain pa ang puso at isip ay hanap ka, bakit nga ba ganyan? Kung malaya lang ako, kung malaya lang ako, ipagsisigawan kung mahal kita. Kung malaya lang ako, kung malaya lang ako, ay ikaw ay tanging pipiliin ko. Sana ay mahal mo rin ako. May isang pagkakataon na ikaw ay makapiling ko. Init na aking pagmamahal ang siyang lagi ay madarama sa'yo. Kahit dayain pa ang puso at isip ay hanap ka, bakit nga ba ganyan? Malaya lang ako, malaya lang ako, ipagsisigawan kung mahal kita. Kung malaya lang ako, kung malaya lang ako, ay ikaw ang tanging pipiliin ko. Sana ay mahal mo rin ako. Kung malaya lang ako, kung malaya lang ako, ipagsisigawan kong mahal kita. Kung malaya lang ako, malaya lang ako, ay ikaw ang tanging pipiliin ko. Sana ay mahal mo rin ako. Sana ay mahal mo rin ako.
Alright, so what can you say about the picture and, of course, the music? What does it portray? The music and the picture is all about freedom. So, what is freedom? Freedom, number one, the state of not being imprisoned or enslaved. Number two, the absence of subjection to foreign domination or despotic government. Number three, the power or right to act, speak, think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Activity, let me read the instruction. The class will be divided into two groups. Each group will be given a topic. The topics are: Group 1, Declaration of Independence of the Philippines, June 12, 1898. Group 2, Declaration of Independence of the Philippines, July 4, 1946. The groups may access Google for reference. Afterwards, a representative from each group will share to the class the analysis of their groups. Now, we'd like you to look into the records, all the necessary additional information with regards to the dates given on your screen, June 12, 1898 and July 4, 1946. You will be given 15 minutes to work on that. Okay, let's try to analyze your work by answering the following guide question. What's the difference between the Proclamation of Independence of the Philippines from June 12, 1898 and July 4, 1946? So technically speaking, when we talk about June 12, 1898's Declaration of Independence of the Philippines, it's the declaration of freedom from the Spanish government by President Emilio Aguinaldo. And on July 4, 1946, it's also a declaration of independence from the government of the United States of America. Now, what were the highlights of each event? Now, for you to be able to understand and to answer the question or this question, now I'd like you to look into the video and listen to it.
Masaysayang araw po. Time, 117 years ago, June 12, 1898, ipinaproklama ni General Emilio Aguinaldo ang independensya ng Pilipinas sa gitnang bintana ng kanyang mansyon sa Cavite Viejo, ngayon Kawit, Cavite. Ang balcony na nakikita ngayon sa ibabaw ng isang puting kalabaw ay idinagdag na lamang noong dekada 1920s. Sa araw na iyon ng Hunyo 12, maraming tao. 7 araw pa lamang nakalilipas, nagpadala na ng mga paanyaya para sa makasaysayang pangyayari. Mga tanghalian na nang magsidatingan ang mga dadalo mula sa 8 lalawigan na kinakatawan ng mga sinag ng araw sa bandila. Upang hindi gaanong mainit para sa mga taong nasa labas ng mansyon, sa kalagitnaan ng at alas 5 sinimulan ng programa. Naroon at nagko-cover ang Amerikanong periodistong si Turnbull White sa mga kalye raw ng Kawit. Mga 5 hanggang 6,000 tao ang nagdiriwang. Napapalumot yan ng mga singkaban o arko ang mga ito at nakalinya mula sa simbahan ng Santa Magdalena ang may 1,000 kawal sa magkabilang bahagi ng kalsada. Sabi ni Turnbull, the presence of these added a touch of military impressiveness to the scene. Sa mga bintana at ibabaw ng mga bahay, may mga kopya na ng watawat ang nalipad. Sa araw na iyon, ang Banda San Francisco de Malabon ay pinatugtog sa unang pagkakataon sa publiko, ang Marcha Nacional Filipina, hinig ng Caviteñong si Julian Felipe. Ang mahabang dokumento ng Acta de la Proclamación de Independencia del Pueblo Filipino ay binasa ng sumulat ito na si Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista at nilagdaan ng 77 mga Pilipino at ng isang di umano ay Amerikanong opisyal ng hukbo na nagngangalang Colonel M.L. Johnson. Na sa katotohanan, ayon sa historiador na si J.R.M. Taylor, ay isang dating tagapangalaga ng isang hotel sa Shanghai na nasa Maynila upang magpamalas ng cinematograph, operator ng sinaunang sinehan. Sa kabila ng alitan ni Aguinaldo at ng unang naggalaw ng paghimagsik na si Andres Bonifacio, magbabalik tanaw ang teksto ng proklamasyon ng himagsikan noong August 1896 mula Caloocan, Santa Mesa at sa 8 lalawigan na sa kalaunan ay isinailalim sa batas militar. Gayun din, ginunita sa puting tatsulok ng bandila ang katipunan at ang kapatiran at sanduguan nito. Matapos nito, ay tinawagan ni Felipe Buencamino ang bayan na ipagtanggol ang watawat anuman ang mangyari at ipinaliwanag ni Artemio Recarte ang mga kahulugan ng mga simbolo sa watawat. Ang watawat ay iniabot ni Bautista kay Aguinaldo at masayang iwinigayway ito ng 29 na taong gulang na general. Sa kanyang kalendaryo para sa 1898, isinulat ni Aguinaldo sa petsang Hunyo 2. Ipinanawag ang bandera nasyonal dito sa bahay ng nasirang Don Maximo Inocencio patungo sa bayan ng Kawit o Cavite Viejo para proklamahin ang aspirasyon ng independensya nitong sangkapuluang Katagalugan o Pilipinas. Oras na alas 4 at 2 minuto ng hapon, Cavite, a 12 de Hunyo, 1898. Mahalaga ang araw na ito sa kasaysayan natin sapagkat hindi lamang ito proklamasyon ng kasarinlan na nagmula mismo sa atin, kundi ito ay iniluwal ng pagtatagumpay ng himagsikan laban sa mga Espanyol. Ako po si Xiao Chua, para sa telebisyon ng Bayan. And that was Xiao.
All right, next.
With this ceremony, a new nation is born. A nation conceived in the centuries-old struggle of a people to attain political liberty to embark on its own national destiny. A nation dedicated to the furtherance of those rights, those principles which serve to compose and advance man's dignity upon the earth. A nation upon whom the eyes of all oppressed peoples are today cast with the burning light of new faith. 28 years ago, the mantle of American sovereignty fell over this land and this people. It was the beneficent sovereignty of a liberator, led to be with God as soon as the well-being of the people would safely permit. America never wavered in that purpose. America today redeems that pledge. For 48 years, our army has stood on these shores. Army of free men dedicated to humanity's higher service. Rome has never been to rule, never been to subjugate, never been to oppress. These years have seen many men come, many men go. Men truly representing a cross-section of that land beyond the seas, brought with them a better understanding of the West, carried back with them a better understanding of the East. This land and this people I have known the people. Philippine self-government grew organically, step by step, through the natural processes of development. Nowhere has a people been similarly trained in the school of enlightened experience. Today, there is a vast body of men and women here who are ready to assume the final burdens of sovereignty. But 48 years obligation will be discharged. The United States, mighty in its new consciousness of power, but humble in its exercise, has underwritten the security of the Philippines. The security of the immemorial moment for our deeds and words. I read now the Proclamation of the Independence of the Philippines. Independence of the Philippines by the President of the United States of America, a proclamation. Whereas the United States of America, by the Treaty of Peace with Spain of December 10, 1898, commonly known as the Treaty of Paris, and by the Treaty with Spain of November 7, 1900, it acquired sovereignty over the Philippines. And by the Convention of January 2nd, 1930, with Great Britain, it delimits the boundary between the Philippine archipelago and the state of North Borneo, whereas the United States of America has consistently and faithfully during the past 48 years exercised jurisdiction and control over the Philippines and its people. I, Harry S. Truman, President of the United States of America, acting under and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the aforesaid Act of Congress, do proclaim that in accord with and subject to the reservations provided for in the applicable statutes of the United States, the United States of America hereby withdraws and surrenders all rights of possession, supervision, jurisdiction, control, or sovereignty now existing and exercised by the United States of America in and over the territory and people of the Philippines. And on behalf of the United States of America, I do hereby recognize the independence of the Philippines as a separate and self-governing nation and acknowledge the authority and control over the same of the government instituted by the people thereof under the Constitution now in force, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the United States of America to be affixed, done at the city of Washington, this 4th day of July, in the year of our Lord, 1946, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 171st. Harry S. Truman, by the President, Dean Acheson, Acting Secretary of State.
All right, so are Filipinos truly free despite of the fact that there were two dates of proclaiming our independence? Yes, we are free. Technically, we are free, but our freedom entails responsibility. Let us not forget those who have sacrificed their lives for us because during their time they fought for freedom. Now, probably we're not in the same situation from our ancestors, but we have a sole responsibility in maintaining our freedom by being responsible to our actions and our deeds. Any questions? Class dismiss.